Rise and salute the flag. Please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the state of New Jersey adequate notice of this meeting of the Egg Harbor City Common Council on August 14th, 2025 was provided in the following manner. Advance written notice was posted on the Egg Harbor City Bulletin Board. Advance written notice was posted on the Egg Harbor City website. And it was also sent to the Hamilton Gazette and the Atlantic City Press. So, next, roll call, please.
Mayor Gepetti?
Here.
Clark? Ingrid Clark, she'll be coming on, she'll be zooming in a few minutes. Dash?
Here.
Jovi?
Here.
Galloway?
Here.
Heist?
Here.
Hesse?
Here.
Keener?
Here.
Timbers? Right.
Here. Okay, number 4, approved minutes of the July 10th, 2025 meeting. Is there a motion?
I make a motion. Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Number 5 on the agenda. Or public comment on agenda items only. So if anyone here has questions about any of the agenda items, now's the time to speak. Seeing none, we'll go to number 6, which is a presentation from our representative for the MS City to Shore Ride.
Good evening. My name is Sydney Johnson, and I'm a year-round volunteer for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society and Bike MS City to Shore. Every year I come to council meetings all over our route and talk about Bike MS City to Shore, share its impact on the MS community, and thank your community for its continued support. For those of you who do not know about multiple sclerosis, it's a disease of the central nervous system that affects the covering of the nerves. It interrupts the flow of information to the body. Symptoms vary depending on the nerves that are affected, and that makes it an unpredictable disease. MS affects more than 2.3 million people worldwide and over 19,000 locally. Chances are you know someone who is living with MS. Funds raised by the Bike MS support patient care and caregiver programs, counseling, research, and so much more. Bike MS City to Shore raises approximately half of the funds needed to support these services for the Greater Delaware Valley chapter of the National MS Society, which includes South Jersey, Southeastern Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Bike MS is the largest charity cycling series in the country, and City to Shore is the second largest Bike MS event in the country. The ride was named one of USA Today's 10 best road cycling events for 2023. Last year, Bike MS City to Shore recruited 4,200 riders and 700 volunteers. We raised $4.275 million. This year's ride will be on September 27th and 28th. In the next couple of weeks, most of your residents along the route will be, or should be all of them, will be receiving a flyer that explains when we're going to be coming through, so they forewarned. In your town, the ride will utilize the following roads. The ride will be entering on Moss Mill Road, turning left on Philadelphia Avenue, and left on Egg Harbor Green Bank Road. I know that the staff has contacted the police and other organizations that need to know about this. Lastly, we would like to thank you for your continued support of the ride. I like to say there are only so many roads that go from Cherry Hill to Ocean City. Without the support of the communities we ride through, Bike MS City to Shore could not happen. The National MS Society's mission is to mobilize people and resources so that everyone affected by MS can live their best lives as we stop MS in its tracks, restore what has been lost, and end MS forever. By your support, you share in this mission. we would like to present you with a plaque for appreciation of your support in 2024. Welcome. Thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
President.
Thank you. Okay, number 7 on our agenda is a presentation from Tyler Savage of the Cape Atlantic Soil Conservation District, Egg Harbor City's Heat Island Assessment. Tyler?
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me tonight. My name is Tyler Savage. I'm a community forestry technician at Cape Atlantic Soil Conservation District. In partnership with Egg Harbor City, we completed a heat island assessment report following guidelines from Sustainable Jersey. So I'm here to report the findings from that assessment. Slide. Got it. Okay, so as we all know, Egg Harbor City is certified by Sustainable Jersey, which means that Egg Harbor City is always looking to tackle sustainability issues that are taking place. Heat islands are one of those, and they sit at the intersection of public health and climate change, and so this is very important. The Heat Island Assessment and Mitigation Plan action is something that is where this falls under, and Egg Harbor City, as they assess heat islands and mitigate them, then we are looking at resilience, increasing our the community's resilience to climate change events like heat events. So something particular, this is the heat island assessment, tier 1 of a 3-tier action. Tier 2 and tier 3 particularly look at interacting and engaging with community members. So it is important for kind of that impactful mitigation that we're looking for. And overall, the heat island assessment is to characterize these heat islands so that we can begin and direct those mitigation strategies. So next slide. So what is a heat island? So heat islands are developed areas that will show higher temperatures than nearby rural areas. These can be caused by many different factors, such as little canopy cover. It can be city infrastructure that kind of absorbs and radiates heat. It can be things like city layout or like weather or geography. And so these are the different factors that can affect and kind of create those heat islands in these developed areas. Something that is important to note is that they disproportionately affect vulnerable populations. These vulnerable populations will be populations such as young children, older adults, or unhoused people, or people with chronic illness like asthma. And so, these are important topics to consider. The other thing is that when we see extreme heat events in these heat islands, we get extreme effects. And so what I mean by that is that we will see an increase for energy consumption and air conditioning. We may see things like increased risk of blackouts or brownouts. We may see energy companies kind of shifting fossil fuels to keep up with that high demand, increasing the amount of pollutants that affects well-being. We even see water quality effects. So the list goes on. So this is an important topic to kind of be looking at. So in terms of what we did here, this was really great because Egg Harbor City just recently had a street tree inventory done. And so when we take a look at that data, Sustainable Jersey does actually have an interactive web tool to be able to view this data. But we wanted to take it a step further and use that tree inventory data. And so we took that and put it into GIS software. And we took the data that Sustainable Jersey displays on their web viewer, and we put it all into one thing and had a lot of fun playing with the data to see what kind of effects we're seeing for more impactful mitigation strategies. So I want to, before I go into identifying or how we went into identifying hotspots within the city, I want to define some terms. So when I speak of heat island, I already kind of mentioned it, but these are going to be these areas that are showing higher temperatures within the city. But I also want to define hotspot. So for the sake of the assessment and for precision when kind of directing mitigation strategies, hotspots refer to the specific site locations within the hotspots. And so the how we found those hotspots, we're using land surface temperature data, the highest two rankings of land surface temperature data. In the upcoming maps, you guys will see colors of orange and orange red, but we'll go more into that later. That's how we found those hotspots, and then once we looked at those clustered hotspots, that was how we determined where the heat islands were. Next slide, please. So this is just a visual of what we were able to find. Overall, we found 3 heat islands in Egg Harbor City, and labeled with letters are going to be those specific site locations or those hotspots. I do want to make a note here that this list aims to characterize the most prominent hotspots within the city. That being said, if you were to go on Sustainable Jersey's web viewer and look, and even as we go through our maps, it is possible to identify other hotspots that could also be targeted for mitigation strategies. So just something to keep in mind. Next slide, please. So I'm going to go into maps here. These maps are going to show different data. So we're going to see our land surface temperature data, canopy cover, social vulnerability index, things like that. And the idea is that we have this comprehensive kind of data set to look at to again prioritize projects for what types of hotspots we're seeing and where the locations of these hotspots. Again, just as kind of a disclaimer that these maps are not boundary surveys. They're just for kind of data visualization. Next slide, please. So our first map here, it shows the Egg Harbor City. You can see that heat data. So the second and third category there, I believe it's 119 degrees to 137 degrees is kind of the gap there that we were looking at for those hottest spots to determine those hot spots. I want to make a note that this summer of 2022, it's the most up-to-date data that we have provided by New Jersey. And during that time, the highest average daily temperature was 86 degrees. So just so that you guys can kind of think about that disparity there, 86 degrees Fahrenheit for air temperature, and we're seeing temperatures between 119 and 137. I believe those are the numbers a little lower there.
127.
127. So pretty high temperatures there of the land surface. Next slide, please. So this is a zoomed in picture. Again, of how we determine those hot spots with our letter, and then those heat islands, which are numbered. Next slide, please. So this is the tree canopy cover. So I wanted to make a note. You may notice that the more green there is, the higher tree canopy cover percentage, and the less green, less tree canopy coverage. And if you notice, those hotspots show no tree coverage. So we see that correlation very clearly in this map here, which again makes us think about what we could do to mitigate these hotspots. Please. So this slide is our social vulnerability or overburdened communities map. And so you can see that all census blocks within the city are considered overburdened communities. There are a lot of different factors that go into this type of data, which is either race, ethnicity, language, household makeup, or poverty level. All these things go into that. And I want to make a note that the social vulnerability index, which is a number that ranges from 0 to 1, this is actually sitting at 0.89 for all of these blocks here. That's fairly high, and that just means that this indicates these populations may face challenges in preparing for or kind of responding to or even rebounding from environmental hazard events such as extreme heat events. And so these locations, to know this is important so that we can so that the city can direct mitigation strategies towards communities where it will bolster that resilience. This is the tree inventory data overlaid with the heat island data. And so this is a really great spot to see where the city has street trees and where the city has vacancies for street trees to be planted. So this is kind of diving in or zooming into that first heat island. I want to point out that, we have those 2 hotspots here. So we have Philadelphia Avenue, and then we have the Harbor Plaza shopping area. I want to note here that the data there is again, we're using the most up-to-date data that we have, but between our data sets, there can be disparities in the years of when they are. So we might see things like we have these hotspots on Philadelphia Ave, in our imagery, which is within 3 to 5 years of currency. We might not see trees there. Maybe these trees were planted or they're still young and growing. So that's something to keep in mind. And even something we noticed for Harvard Plaza, that building, as of 2020 or 2022, when this data was taken, was actually a dark roof. Since then, in this more recent imagery, you can see that it is now light. It's not absorbing as much heat. So these things might have affected this data. It's just something to keep in mind that, again, the data is from 2022 and they are, working on getting more up-to-date data, but something to keep in mind. Next slide, please. So for Heat Island 2, we have quite a few hotspots in this area. We have a private organization or company there, and then for B, we have the water treatment facility, which is no longer owned by the city, and then we have C, which is a school, D, which was the Board of Education at one point, and then D, the maintenance for the city. Now, going through these, there might be some concern that these are, if they are privately owned, what could the strategies be here? I think that these privately owned areas will require different strategies for the city to think about. But that being said, when we have an area like B, where even the city does not own the property necessarily, or is in charge of taking care of the property, if you take a look at the map to the right showing the tree inventory data, you guys can see that the vacancies, which are in blue, are all around that area in municipal owned property. The same goes for the school. So for C, for Sprague Elementary, you can see that there are vacancies for tree plantings all around the school, and these will make a difference, when we're considering mitigation strategies. There also are possibly opportunities for school tree plantings through Sustainable Jersey or other ways to get grants as well. So something to consider there. Slide, please. So Heat Island 3, this is Cedar Creek High School and the adjoining Cedar Creek neighborhood. And so, you might notice that there's not a lot of trees here, open areas. There's quite a few things that are contributing to this heat island. But again, maybe those grants for getting tree plantings are something that could be important. Next slide, please. So we have all this data. We wanted to organize it so that we could see where actions could be prioritized. So the most common type of heat hotspot that exists in the city are going to these areas with little tree canopy and vegetation cover. Trees are really important for cooling, the cooling effect that they provide. So they provide shade, which just directly impacts cooling ability. And then they also do this thing called evapotranspiration, where when the leaves heat up, water evaporates from the leaves stomata, and then that causes a cooling effect surrounding the tree. And so that's something to think about when we're thinking about mitigation strategy. The other thing is parking lots are large areas of asphalt or sidewalk, things like that. So these areas, they get directly hot. They tend to be dark colors. They absorb that heat, and citizens interact with these on the daily. So that's something that, a hazard that is considered. And the other thing, I put a little subliminal messaging with the picture here. There is a tree that can provide shade over these areas as well. So again, while that could be an option, there's also opportunities, again, this would be more to plant mitigation, but even materials cooling materials could be going over paved, but again, that goes into plant mitigation. The next thing is dark roofs. So there's, although not as many of these areas within the city, it's still something to think about. So these dark roofs, which are gray or black, they tend to absorb heat, and what they'll do is they'll radiate that heat into the surrounding area, and they can even heat transfer into the buildings. This is particularly important when we're thinking about areas that might not have air conditioning or access to air conditioning, because it's going to heat up those buildings more, and you'll see that effect. And so that's just something to think about for these areas. The last one, there's not a whole lot of this in the city, but it's important to note. At the high school, there is a synthetic turf field. Synthetic turf is durable, it's low cost. There's a lot of benefits to having turf fields, and just something to note is that they can get hot, and so that could be contributing to that.
On my field area, that's 150 degrees. I'm surprised that's not a hot spot.
Yes, it is. There you go, right? So, exactly. That's what's contributing to that data, right? And so, there is research. I just wanted to point out that, while, you know, maybe dark roofs or asphalt will emit that heat throughout the night. It does seem that these turf fields do not radiate heat at night, which is great. But still, during the day, we're gonna see these uncomfortable and potentially dangerous conditions, specifically for athletes in the state. This is just a chart that kind of shows all of the data. You can find this in the report, but it just kind of summarizes it for easy viewing. So I just want to say that, or reiterate that this is, the heat island assessment is a tier 1 of a 3-tier action. And so the district is, you know, very happy to be partnered with Egg Harbor City in this heat island assessment. And, you know, it might, you know, tier 2 and tier 3 are something that the city could choose to pursue. And the district is happy to be supporting Egg Harbor City in all of its actions and beyond. And so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Very good.
It's hard to know the tier 2 and tier 3. What are the steps?
Sorry about that. So tier 2 is, it would be plan mitigation. So that would be writing a report based off of this assessment. And it would also involve likely kind of site visits to these hotspots, interaction with the community and getting people's feedback on what is most important and how to direct mitigation strategies. Plan through our tier 3 would be plan implementation. So it would be taking that plan mitigation report and then implementing those to hopefully see the beneficial effects of all the way through. So yes, of course, thank you.
Hey, Kim, we're doing both. We're doing the plan and we're gonna be doing the mitigation.
Oh,
Tonight, I'm gonna be asking the council to approve going out for RFP to plant 200 trees this fall.
oh, that's great.
That'll add to it.
Mhm.
May I say something, please? I have to. This fella did a fabulous job. I've been working with him for a couple of months and he's just so pleasant to work with and he did a great job. And not only did he do that, he gave us leads for additional grants that are available. We had a discussion today. It was like, well, this is a hot spot. We really can't cover up the field because the kids need to play, but maybe we talked about canopies over certain play areas, things like that. The BPU has a new program being announced soon, right?
Yep.
And
Yes.
they have 3 tiers for their program. First grant is up to $1 million for a revitalization project. That would take a whole neighborhood approach. They have another grant up to $500,000 for implementing measures to create cooling places in public buildings, things like that. If they needed special air conditioning or geothermal heating system and so forth. And then they have smaller grants up to $50,000, which is, I think this might be good for Egg Harbor City to maybe put up some of those, they call them sails or canopies over a play area just to keep the kids cool. And I think you had mentioned,
Yeah, I did.
which playground did you mention?
The Kaboom playground's really hot.
On Buffalo,
Yeah,
across from
super
Pratt.
hot. You can't really go there in the summertime with the kids because it's so hot.
That's a perfect spot.
So I'm hoping that maybe we can apply for.
No,
No, wrong.
there's enough kids down there now. I don't need anybody going over there hiding them this shit. So I'm 6 or 8 o'clock.
Really tall.
It's tall.
I know what it is. There's a couple of playgrounds. We were actually just in Puerto Rico. They had.
It's fall, right?
Anyone else has a question for Tyler? Tyler, thank you very much for coming and thank you for the detailed. report.
I'm all for trees, but sometimes the roots are invasive and stuff and utilities. Are they gonna look where they're putting the trees as far as the utilities are concerned? Because a lot of times. With the water company, electric company and stuff like that, they call it a problem. Depends on the tree type as well, you know what I mean, so.
Every tree we plant, we'll be calling in for a mark out. So we'll make sure that we're not disturbing or having issues with it.
And the other thing about our town, the way it's laid out, most of the utilities are in the terraces
They are.
and
yeah.
the avenues are wide.
I
We do
just-
have conflicts on the streets all through town. And we have a grant to address that. Atlantic City Electric comes in and they chop them up. And they look like they're dangerous, some of them.
Yeah, it's just.
So we're gonna be, in the next couple of years, addressing some of that.
Probably a topic for our committees, but we did talk the other night at our finance redevelopment committee that on the main street, those trees just aren't growing like we thought they would originally.
Some of
And it
them
might be a
are.
good idea to replace some of those trees with the grant that we already have, so. We can
I can
discuss that
say
later.
that.
Well, they
I'm not saying take them down, I'm saying replace them.
they could be transplanted someplace else, correct?
I don't know.
They would
That's-
probably do better
Yeah.
somewhere else because they're not growing because it doesn't have the proper environment. Cause if you look at some of them, they're enormous, like the one by the Medley. It's enormous. But then you could look at the other ones, they're horrible.
Yeah.
That is a heat spot down Main Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And I was there sitting in the audience when they picked those trees. They had 3 meetings to discuss trees and they were long meetings. And they came up with the male ginkgo tree, which is supposed to be deep rooted and slow growing. Obviously, it is slow growing, but it also has little teeny tiny leaves. And they don't make much shade. I mean, those trees will never make a whole lot of shade. Whereas our London plane trees that you see lining our streets have humongous leaves and they're the coolest that we have. So, you gotta weigh all use the trees for the streets. It's a lot to it.
I'm sure when they chose them, they were thinking, because of the pairs that were there before, they were very messy trees.
and
And so
they
you have
put all
public
the
access.
signs and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that's what they
Yeah.
were doing. Like Nanette said, they weigh everything out.
Yes.
Well, again, Tyler, thank you for
Yeah,
your
thank you
time.
so much for your
Thanks,
time.
Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 8 on the agenda is mayor's.
Okay, so I have the lake report. So far in different sizes, different types of badges and bands, we sold 5,691. Or no, I'm sorry, 8,734 for $105,000. That $105,710. 491 picnics of various prices and grills, non-grills, $28,130, 218 boat rides for $2,230. Sales to date are 136,070. Sales the same date, 2024 were 169,650. Shortage of 33,580. Campground 56,543. And which it brings our total revenue so far to $141,713. So we had a lot of bad weather. We had a lot of early closings. So we did good last week, so maybe it's a good sign. A lot going on since the last time we met. We did have the fireworks and drone show, and that was just totally awesome. The drones were so amazing. And I thank Brian Rodriguez for, he's a resident here. He used to be one of my students. Did that for free for the city because he wanted to give back because he loves the city so much. More recently, we did the Lake Olympics on Saturday, community cookout the week before, the food truck event on Saturday, and we cut the Archway Green ribbon on Friday of last week. And more recently, we had the Cedar Creek annual freshman welcome wagon, which is always fun. And tomorrow, Cedar Creek football will be at the Moravian Church packing bags for the food bank. So that's pretty much all I have. There's lots more going on, but you're gonna hear about it in the other reports, so I'll let it be. I don't want to get accused of talking too long.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Wright,
Nothing right.
motion please. Okay. Councilwoman Galloway for property and sustainable.
Nothing for property, but I have 2 things for sustainable EHC. First is, we're hosting Doug Tallum. If for those of you who know who he is, he's probably world-renowned speaker and professor. And he'll be at Cedar Creek High School, 7 p.m. on September 10th. The program is free, but we need people to pre-register. They can register by logging on to sustainableehc.org. He's very entertaining and he's very informative, so you'll see posters on the Facebook page and so forth. So hope to see a lot of people there. We have a lot of reservations already.
What's the date of that?
September 10th, it's a Wednesday. We have a lot of reservations and a lot of people coming from out of town. And then the other thing is, residents and city employees are invited to attend the 100th Annual Shade Tree Federation Conference being held in Atlantic City, October 16th and 17th. It's going to be at Harris Conference Center. And it's probably one of the best tree education programs in the state. Residents can get core trained, which would qualify them to serve on our tree committee, or they can take general sessions too, which are extremely informative. And the cost is $275 per day, but we have a grant from the state of New Jersey to pay for anyone who's interested in attending. So anybody who would like to attend or is interested, some of the people here already attended, and you could go back again and go every year actually. So the grant is $12,000 for 3 more years. So we have plenty of money to pay for our residents to go. So if anybody's interested, just let me know. I'd be glad to put them on the list, or see Jody. She's going to keep the list. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Hesse for safety, code enforcement and Rotary.
I have nothing for safety and nothing for Rotary. But I do for the code committee. I just have their monthly report. And it starts with their administrative duties are 55, their certified mail and code compliance reports 32, illegal dumping 0, in-person notifications 24, inspections 43, investigations 62, red cards issued 17, telephone or email notifications 36, TV tags issued 11, zoning review conducted 30. I just wanted to say, since there were 11 TV tags reported, I'll continue to remind residents of the proper electronic disposal. Please take your electronics to Public Works, which operates from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's on 1001 Chicago Avenue. So please take your TVs as well, any electronics. And the only other thing I'd like to mention is the next code meeting will be this coming Tuesday. It will be on August 19th at 6:30 p.m. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Timbers for Parks, Land Use Board, Ordinance, and Aaron.
Nothing.
Okay. Mr. Dovey, for DPW.
We have several items, agenda items that have to do with Public Works, and Jerry will give that the details on that when he gives his report on Public Works and City Administrator. Well, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Anything to add, Councilman Heist, Councilwoman Heist? Yeah. Dash.
Nothing.
Is Ingrid on?
No.
No. Okay. Right, I just have a report from Laura Shaw, our tax collector. And for the month, we've collected $655,943. Some of that, or a good portion of that, is from the lake. There's like 70,000 that came in during the month of July, and maybe this is the month of June. Sorry. Yeah, no, July. And for the year, we've taken in $6,090,607.62. Right, next number 10 is the chief of police.
All right, we'll go through some numbers really quickly. Since July 10th, when we last met, we've had 5 burglaries, 4 fraud incidents, 1 narcotics/CDS activity. 2 simple assaults, 1 stolen motor vehicle, 13 thefts. We've had 28 motor vehicle accidents, 12 pedestrian stops, 128 traffic stops. We had a total of 48 summonses issued, 2 DUI arrests, and 13 total arrests, including those 2 DUIs. 15 business alarms, 3 residential alarms, 162 crime prevention activities, 12 domestics, 34 EMS incidents, 6 firearms applications, 18 follow-ups, 562 property checks, 16 public service calls. In terms of training, we had 2 officers go to field training officer school, so they are now certified to train officers that will be coming into the department. 1 officer went to Finding Words, a specific course that allows them to interview kids under the age of 12 in any criminal investigations. Regular officers can't talk to them because we ask leading questions, so it's special training to make sure that that does not happen. Upcoming trainings, we're going to be sending an officer to methods of instruction that allows officers to do in-house trainings, radar instruction, defensive tactics, all that other kind of stuff. Specifically creating lesson plans, that kind of thing. And another officer will be attending a CART training, child abduction response training, which every department needs to have somebody who's CART certified. So if there is any child abduction, the county does activate the CART team to go ahead and find a missing child. The mayor mentioned some things where the police were involved as well. The Lead Olympics looked like a lot of fun. We had a lifeguards versus police officer potato sack race. I want to find out the name of the 1 lifeguard because he looked like he jumped over fences, and I'm interested in potentially hiring him.
Well, Nanette was trying to find him a job in the city somewhere.
So I like legit, I was just like, Mary Cassell.
It's Micah, you remember Phil Cunningham? It's his stepson.
We had the EDC Food Truck Festival that same day, which was wonderful. We could not have had better weather. Quite a few of the trucks sold out. And the lines were long and people were happy and sated, so that was awesome. The Archway Green looks absolutely amazing, so kudos to the NPP for putting all of that together. That was amazing. The Coalition for a Safe Community, we had 2 separate cookouts, one at the Washington Avenue Apartments, one at the Philadelphia Village. The mayor and I got our group on. We were doing some line dancing, hopefully on Facebook.
Now everybody's gonna search for it.
Yeah. So upcoming events that we have going on. We will be having back to school events, both at the Sprague School and at the community school. We are going to be having visit by the Attorney General next week. I'm sure we will be disseminating more information about that. The Attorney General will be visiting Egg Harbor City. Next week also, Atlantic County Prevention Resources Outreach will be doing outreach regarding fentanyl and Narcan. They will be approaching local businesses to hopefully put up posters addressing the importance of Narcan and the horrible effects of opiates and fentanyl. So that's what we've got going on there. Facebook was so Twitter all day today because why were there so many different police organizations in town and around pulling over cars?
And could you note that that was not the official Egg Harbor City Facebook page?
Oh, yes, it was. Yes. Well, and Facebook in general, it wasn't just the other Egg Harbor City page. It was other jurisdictions as well, from Hamilton to Malacca. I think there was something on the Sweetwater page and in Galloway. So every place, there was dual action going on. There was county traffic enforcement going on from Galloway to Hamilton today, as well as on the Black Horse Pike. So both of the pikes were being hit today. And it was the 5th installment of the countywide traffic enforcement task force. they today, pulled over, they had today a total of 110 motor vehicle stops with 75 summonses issued. So that's between Galloway and between the stretch between Galloway and Hampton. Our officer Pants issued 10 of those summonses. On August 3rd, there was another one where our officer Smith, participated. They did a total of 126 motor vehicle stops and they issued 97 summonses. So
And that was in a different part of the
yes,
county.
that was in a bit different part of the town. That was covering the Black Horse Pike from Egg Harbor Township through Hamilton Township. So the goal was to do enforcement to help limit the number of fatal motor vehicle crashes. Last year, Atlantic County was number 2 in the state for the number of fatal motor vehicle crashes. And so this is our attempt to help educate folks and to enforce and hopefully keep people from driving recklessly, speeding, distracted driving, those kinds of things. So that's what we're hoping to do with that. So I think that's all I have. Anyone have any questions?
Chief, I was gonna answer that today. Because they were saying, why are we getting help like that in Egg Harbor City? But I knew we had the meeting tonight and I figured you would bring it up.
Yeah, I saw some stuff. They're like, oh, well, why do we need the help? And, it seemed to be a fair mix of, oh, why Egg Harbor isn't doing anything, that's why they have to bring other people in. But then there were other folks who were just like, you know what? The more the merrier, like everybody's out there and, if it's a problem, then, but yeah, so, it was a countywide solution that, the chiefs of police, we all got together and we're like, what can we do along with the county prosecutors?
Great.
That's what we came up with. And so it was a collaborative effort and there we were.
Yeah.
Very good.
That wasn't done in the
I have
past.
two questions.
They never did that in the past. It was a great
No.
initiative.
So-
I have two. Oh, I'm
Chief.
sorry.
You mentioned there were 5 burglaries. Was anyone apprehended for those burglaries?
I would have to check. I do not know. I don't.
You said there were 28 motor vehicle accidents. Is that a lot? For a month? And where were they? Were they in town or were they on the bike?
Where we get a lot of motor vehicle accidents, cars and parking lots. So,
Okay. People
so,
just backing out.
so we have a lot of minor motor vehicle accidents. So, the Wawa parking lot is the worst.
I gotcha.
And the Harbor Plaza parking lot,
Well,
how they ever had a photo mat there, because it's like at the end of that, I'm just like, how was there room for
Yeah.
that? But yeah, so.
And then there was another Facebook post, someone was complaining that Narcan is being distributed in stores for free, and why are they doing that? And could you explain why they do that?
Yeah, so Narcan is for everybody. I carry Narcan in my personal vehicle. I have Narcan at home. Not because I use opiates, my kids don't. But you never know when you're gonna come in contact with anything that has been in contact with fentanyl or any kind of opioid. So, this is an epidemic that reaches everybody, and it's better to be safe than sorry. So if you have Narcan available, if somebody is having some sort of reaction to fentanyl or an opioid, if you have that available, readily available, you can save somebody's life. So it's not about a stigma or anything like that. It's about being able to help somebody when they're in need. And that's part of the outreach that's going to be happening next week. It's to kind of get rid of the stigma of like, oh, we can have Narcan, in sight. It's like, no, this is something that everybody should have. And I give out Narcan readily, if I've had people who've been overdosing, and when talking to family members, I give them Narcan. I'm like, here, put this in your car, keep this in your house, do whatever you need to, because you can, and it does. So yes, I did see that, and yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. So,
Well, thank you for your report.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, number 11 on the agenda is our CFO report. No report. Number 12 is a city clerk.
I'm not doing-
Number 13, city administrator.
Thank you.
I don't know why you made 13 that time.
Yeah.
Lucky 13.
It's lucky 30. It's. This is
I want to take it off. I can be
So, for DPW, it's just the normal stuff. We're doing sweeping, catch basin cleaning. We're doing a lot of catch basin cleaning. We'll be out there tomorrow morning again, doing catch basin cleaning because, the heavy rain, tends to collect on top of our, catch basins. So we'll have them all cleaned up by the end of the day tomorrow. Of course, we're doing mowing. This map that I have up here is the paving condition survey that we paid for. And to describe the colors, greens are roads in great shape. Yellows, so-so, and reds, bad shape. And so if you look at it at a glance, you can pretty much see that a lot of our roads are in pretty good shape, but we do have some issues on the Galloway side and of course towards the, I guess towards the tips of our main streets. And so what we are doing this year is we're paving the 400 and 500 block of Buffalo. We're doing some portions of Claudius Camp and a small portion of Berger. In addition to that, the New Jersey American Water is spending $3.3 million to improve the infrastructure. They are replacing 8,280 linear feet of pipe that's approximately 100 years old. It was installed in the 1930s. So the streets or the terraces that they're going to do is they're going to do 11 terrace from the White Horse Pike to Camp. They're going to be doing work on Havana Avenue from Beethoven to Camp. The 12th terrace, they're going to be doing from Beethoven to Camp. They're going to be doing Beethoven Street, 13th terrace. So the portion between 13th terrace and 10th terrace, Berger between 12th and 10th, and on Camp Street between 12th and 10th. And so they're starting on the first phase, I think, Chief, next week.
Yes, on
Next-
Monday.
On Monday, starting on the first phase, which is the 11th Street Terrace project. And then they'll move through the phases and complete as much as they can before the winter hits.
Jerry, is that what they have on Beethoven and it's just down from 13th? So I guess it's like 12th Street over
Be-
there, Beethoven 12th. They have like equipment over
Yeah, so
there.
from 13th to
Is that what it
10th,
is?
you're gonna be doing Beethoven, yeah. So
Okay.
there's gonna be a lot of disturbance, a lot of detours, but detours, because we have double the amount of streets that we need in this city, detours are not that big a deal. But there is gonna be a lot of work that's being done, which will follow up paving after they've replaced, because when you're doing water meter pits, you don't necessarily have to repave the street, but when you're doing main replacement, there typically needs to be street repaving after they've completed the job.
And in my terrace, it's 14th terrace. They have blue lines. I'm guessing that's water.
Yeah,
And they have it marked out for some reason.
not sure, it's not on this list.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be for something else.
Uh-huh.
So they are doing this project, which is a water main replacement line. They're also doing meter pits at the same time by separate crews, all right?
I have a question.
Yeah,
When they repave, will they repave curb to curb or just patching?
I'll make sure that they repave curb to curb. I can't answer that, but I'll make sure they.
If not, it should be in our ordinance, right?
Yeah,
It is
so
an ordinance.
it is in our ordinance. Our ordinance is very similar to the ordinance that I wrote in Hamilton, which is it's curb to curb. When you disturb the entire street, it's curb to curb. So the map will stay up there. You can see that there are some streets that will need attention, but a lot of our streets are in pretty good shape. As far as tree work, as everyone knows, we have over $1.8 million in grants to be able to do tree work. So to date, we've removed 112 dead or dying trees. We've removed 6 stumps that were not related to those dead trees, and we did 2 hazard condition prunings so far this year. And I think the contract has started in early May, so it's only been a couple of months. As far as code and the building department, on the agenda tonight is the introduction of the ordinance for junk and abandoned vehicles. And boats, I do have PowerPoints, but in the interest of brevity, I did send them to everyone, so you know the pictures that I've been taking since I started working full-time. The bowling alley. So we had a week ago, we had a very successful visit with the judge in Hamilton. And yesterday, code enforcement officers and myself went over to the bowling alley to do an inventory of all of the items that are outside the exterior of the bowling alley. The individual who owns the bowling alley has until August 22nd to remove all of that material. And we have a new court date of August 26th to determine whether resentencing needs to happen if the individual has not removed all of the items outside of the bowling alley, inside the fence and outside his new shiny fence. So I'll have an update at the September 11th meeting. Also, the building inspector, Rich Saunders, and I will be going out Monday to finalize the list of the unsafe structures. That list will be brought to council, and I will be asking for those properties to be deemed unsafe, have our attorney go through the process, and then knock them down so that they're mitigated. As far as the admin portion of my job, I do have a tree RFQ to go out to plant trees. We're going to be putting that out there this week. So it'll be announced, and then I think it's September 3rd when those sealed bids come back and we open those sealed bids. RFQ process, the return date is Monday, this Monday coming up. So I'll know what the RFQ and Egg Harbor North results are. I did do the final sign off on our pickleball project. The contractor did a good job after we made him come back a couple of times, and we did a pretty good job. The NFC fitness park pad has been poured, and installation of the equipment, which we have at DPW, will begin on August 25th. And the final thing I have is that we're doing a minor cleanup and listing Rick's Power Plus with our real estate agent so that we can get that sold.
Weisbecker.
Weisbecker. So Weisbecker equipment will start to come in tomorrow and Monday, and their date, I think, is August 22nd when they're gonna start knocking it down. 25th, so that's a Monday. So somewhere around the end of August, they'll start knocking that out. That's it, I'm exhausted.
I just want to thank Jeff and Steve Hadley and our attorney for the day I spent in court. And I give you lawyers and police and everybody credit to have to sit through court like that. It's crazy, but I think it turned out really well, and hopefully it'll all get cleaned up the way that we want.
One way or the other, it's gonna get cleaned up.
And I have a question, Jerry. Can you remind me when the date is for the violations that he's still in with the fire official inspection?
September 22nd is, so that's an ongoing saga, Mayor, but
Yeah.
September 22nd, the fire official, Steve Buckhofer, and I will be appearing in front of the Construction Board of Appeals because the individual is appealing the fire violations, pretty much appeals everything. We'll be losing a couple of hours of our life there as well.
Thank you.
Jerry, there is a catch basin on Philly Avenue and Irvine out by Cedar Creek when you go in. Right at Pat Bernard's house.
Covered with.
It's covered with leaves.
Yep.
Can somebody go out there and clean it out? She's an older lady and
Yep.
her whole yard and the road is really flooding out every time it rains. So
Okay.
they could take care of that.
So we did vacuum all the basins out there, but stuff collects all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Just-
completely understand,
Yeah,
but
so
I
maybe
don't want her to try to go out and do it herself and fall, so.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I never received a PowerPoint on any of the cars that you've been taking. Did anybody
Yeah,
else
I
get a
don't know.
PowerPoint on?
Confirm that it was sent?
Yeah, so I sent it to the mayor and council. So I'm sending it to the mayor and council group, not necessarily individually, so I don't know if you guys are on that group, but I would resend
Or
it.
council, so.
Yeah, so. you
I didn't
voted it.
get
I did.
anything on any of the, like an individual.
I have it,
On-
I'll send it,
Okay,
because I just there's a mayor and council option on our Outlook, so I just send it to that, and I'm assuming that everyone gets it, so I'll make sure that it's individual. Or I'll check that group to make sure you guys are on that.
Okay,
We've
thank
been
you.
on for a couple. So you should be.
Oh, I'm on
Yeah,
nine.
I'll make sure.
And you said a PowerPoint. When did you send it, Jer?
I sent it last week,
Oh,
looks like.
No, and I check my email every day.
What you sent was samples of cars that you were talking about.
Yeah.
That are
Beautiful,
around town.
beautiful abandoned.
I saw the pictures. I didn't see the pictures.
Beautiful abandoned junk cars.
I got the individual ones, Jerry,
Yeah,
here
I
and there,
did.
but not a PowerPoint. No, I didn't get it.
Um,
Well, it's for code then.
Hold on. I wanna see if you guys, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Share my screen. It looks like that.
Oh,
No, you see that?
I didn't get that.
Okay, so these are the junk and abandoned cars and trucks that we have throughout the city that we need the ordinance for. This one's one of my favorites. This one is being used as a storage shed. When they go camping, they have stuff that they take out.
I think that's a heat spot.
Is that considered camping or glamping?
I think it's.
I wouldn't call that glamping.
These are the examples of, the vehicles that people have in the yards. If they're operable, if they need to be fixed, that's one thing, but, from all indications, they look like that either they're not licensed, they don't have tags, and there's grass and other things growing underneath them, as well as vines growing on them. So that's part of it. I'll make sure I redistribute it to everybody.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I got something, Jerry. All right, go.
Good.
Do you need a resolution for the tree RF?
No,
Okay,
I'm just gonna go out. We need a resolution to award it. We don't need a resolution to
Okay.
put it out to bid.
okay.
And then I do have the update on the Crusader building. All right, so the Crusader building, the new steel door is installed.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so next week we have the gates being installed,
Uh-huh.
the ceiling being
Okay.
redone on the second floor,
Mhm.
and then electrical.
Okay.
New LED lights as well as new outlets being put in. That will be the week after.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Yeah, I heard from First Home Gate is the 6th, so
Okay, so I'll make it right underneath right under the wire.
sounds good to me.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you, Jerry. All right, number 15.
Oh,
City.
Oh, I'm sorry, sorry.
Talk about.
Welcome to our meeting. I
Thanks.
should have said that sooner. And I did miss call, so. All right, number 15 on our agenda is accepting the Heat Island assessment reported and prepared by the Cape Atlantic Conservation District. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Questions? Roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Jovi,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimous. Number 16 on the agenda is resolution certification of the annual audit that I think we all received,
Mhm.
correct? Is there questions
Make a
or a motion first?
motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? All, roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Jovi,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Wright.
resolution passes. Okay, number 17 is a resolution authorizing the city of Egg Harbor City to join the New Jersey Solutions Joint Health Insurance Fund. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? Roll call, please.
Dash,
Yes.
Jovi,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
resolution passes. Number 18 is a resolution accepting a grant from the Hazardous Discharge Site Remediation Fund Public Entity Program, which is a mouthful, through the New Jersey Economic Development Authority and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? I have a question. What is how much is it?
It's like the 169,000 one for,
Tower
site that.
Okay, right, that's right. Okay, motion made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby.
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Number 19, resolution approval to submit the NJDOT time extension for the award of the LA 2022 SST Egg Harbor City Transit Path Extension Phase 3. This is the fourth extension to February 15th, 2026. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? This is like the fifth time we've done this. With other ones too, not just this date. So, roll call, please.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby.
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
resolution passes. Number 20, resolution to increase the bid threshold and quotation threshold.
Can we just get an explanation of that?
The state adjusts the thresholds every 5 years, so 2025 is the 5th year, so these are new thresholds that the state allows for bidding and quoting.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby.
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
resolution passes. Number 21, a resolution renewing a cooperative purchasing contract, Enterprise Fleet Management. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions?
Yes.
Yes.
What's our need this year, Jody? Fleet management,
What are we getting?
yeah,
One 2500 series pickup truck and 3 police vehicles.
two.
2 police vehicles. I tried to sneak that in on. I know you did.
I've seen our vehicle budget, but
Might get a
Shame
bite.
there's no EVs in there.
And not yet.
All right, roll call, please.
Dash.
Yeah.
Joby.
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
resolution passes. Number 22, resolution authorizing cooperative purchasing contract, Sourcewell contract award, purchase of the backhoe Jesco from Jesco.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
A question?
Question, go ahead.
I saw the price for the purchase. Do we have a trade-in?
Trade-in's 27,000 for the piece of equipment as is.
Okay.
It needs about $12,000 worth of work right now, but we decided not to pay for the work and then get the higher trade-in. So we ended up with an $8,000 positive on that from what we were negotiating.
Okay.
In addition to that, the machine will come in November, early November. So we negotiated a free rental from next week, if this passes, all the way to when the delivery of the new vehicle is, the new equipment, piece of equipment, so that we're not without. It costs about $1,500 a week to rent the backhoe, so we're not gonna be without a backhoe until our backhoe comes in.
Perfect. So the amount quoted in the ordinance, that's before or after the trade-in?
It's all after.
Okay.
All after. In addition to that, we applied for a $50,000 grant because our machine is a smog machine. It doesn't have the new updated controls, the DEF controls. So I applied for the grant, the $50,000 grant 5 weeks ago. I haven't heard back yet. But by the time we get the new machine, we may be awarded that grant. So we'll be able to knock 50 grand right off of that.
Awesome. Thank you for your hard work with that.
You're welcome. Sure.
Roll call, please.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby.
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener.
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
resolution passes. Number 23, resolution authorizing change order number 1 on the tree maintenance and removals from Lenzic Enterprises Incorporated, also known as Tree Man.
Motion.
Motion,
Second.
motion made and seconded. Questions?
So
Roll
you,
call.
it said you're going from 2 people to 3.
Yeah.
You
So
need-
in our discussions with the tree man contractor who has taken down over 100 trees so far. A 3-man crew for the size of our trees is much safer. So the increase is just under 20%. We're getting 50% more work and labor for a 20% increase. So we're doing okay with that.
Thank you.
And he's tired.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Jovi,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Number 24, resolution lien payoff and refund overpayment of property taxes for 100% disabled veteran, case 2024-3.
I make
No
a
motion.
motion. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? Roll call. please.
Dash,
Yes.
Jovi,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Number 25, resolution designating certain areas and property identified as the Egg Harbor North Rehabilitation Area as an area in need of redevelopment. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? Roll call, please.
Dash,
Yes.
Jovi,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes.
Keener,
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
resolution passes. Number 26, introduce ordinance number 13-2025, which is amending chapter 120 of the code of the city of Egg Harbor concerning construction codes, uniform, up-to-date general construction code fees, building subcode fees in accordance with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs codes and standards. And we would advertise the notice of this introduction in the Hamilton Gazette on August 20th for public hearing on September 11th.
I make a motion.
Somebody explain this, please.
Sure.
Okay, motion made and second. Questions.
We had a visit from the DCA, Mason, and they looked through our ordinance fees
Okay.
and they weren't happy with some of the language that we had.
Oh,
So they've
okay.
asked us to change some of the language.
No, I'm just saying with the uniform, like what's the uniform?
Uniform construction code sub.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's what we charge when we.
That's
do
why I was a little
inspections.
confused, yeah, all right.
So they weren't happy with a few things.
Okay.
They were okay with the numbers or
Yeah.
the amounts. They weren't happy with the way.
I
it
got
read.
you.
So
Yep.
So are these for the, just for clarification, are the fees changing or
No.
just?
Some are being eliminated.
some are eliminated and some.
Just one,
The
okay.
language is being changed.
So we're not increasing fees, we're
No.
just cleaning up the language?
Yeah,
Right.
cleaning up the language. Basically, we're doing what they asked us to do, so we're in compliance with that.
Okay, to introduce this ordinance, all in favor? Opposed? Ayes have it. Ordinance is introduced. Number 27, introduce ordinance number 14-2025, amending chapter 213 of the Code of the City of Egg Harbor concerning vacant and abandoned properties. And we would also advertise this notice in the Hamilton Gazette on August 20th for a public hearing on September 11th.
I make a motion.
Second.
Questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Ordinance introduced. Number 28. Introduce ordinance number 15-2025, amending chapter 262 of the Code of the City of Egg Harbor concerning junk and abandoned vehicles. And again, we would advertise the notice and public hearing on September 11th.
I make a motion.
Second.
I have a question.
Question, go ahead.
So, so I'm looking at the ordinance that we passed 2 years ago, I think it was May 2023. And I'm comparing it to this one, and it looks like the ordinance that we passed in 2023, some of the things that we pulled out of that ordinance purposely have been put back into this ordinance. And a couple of things I just have a question about. So the definition of abandoned motor vehicle is found to be mechanically inoperable and is allowed to remain inoperable for a period of 10 days. So if somebody's car breaks down, say their transmission goes, and the resident needs a little bit of time to financially have that transmission replaced, which could be thousands of dollars. After 10 days, their car is determined to be abandoned.
So we would negotiate that point. So I had a situation like that on one of the terraces where I gave the individual 30 days to be able to get their car back up and running. And they were able to do that within the 30-day period. So some of this is written in such a way where we have some strict guidelines, but that doesn't mean that we're not flexible with making sure that we can help people out if they're having a situation like that.
Yeah, but how can you consider if somebody's paying their car insurance and their registration and all that stuff? How can we consider that thing banked?
If it's inoperable, then it's abandoned. If it's got grass growing around it, it's abandoned.
Well, yeah, that is obviously.
That's our criteria. That's the criteria that my PowerPoint, which I sent to everyone,
Right.
by the way. That's the criteria. The criteria is if it's really inoperable and it's been sitting there for a period of time. Some of the vehicles that we have, which you'll see in the photographs, have moss growing on them, right? And so those vehicles haven't moved for a long time.
Okay, right.
Those are the vehicles that we're looking at. We're not looking at vehicles that recently broke down, they're putting in their yard and they're trying to get, that fixed, or maybe they have their friend or their brother coming in to put a transmission in.
But they're being included in this ordinance.
Yeah, everyone will be included in the ordinance because I can't have the ordinance subjective, but we do have, and we have experienced working with people to be able to be flexible and.
So is that discriminatory if you're saying it's 10 days, but if I talk to you and it's not 10 days?
No, if anyone talks to me, it's not 10 days. If they need more time, we will give them more time, just like we give people more time when they have tall grass that they need to get addressed, or when they have an issue with their sidewalk or anything of that nature.
I mean, you could have like, say you have a mother of 3 and her transmission goes and it's $3,000 to fix that. But that's not gonna be easy for some people.
No.
I think we're gonna be discriminating against people that don't have the financial means to keep up with some other people in the.
So because some of these vehicles, or all of these vehicles will be on their property, it's not that we're just going to ticket them just because we think that it's abandoned. We're gonna go talk to these individuals and make sure that it's abandoned or that it's inoperable. I have to, in essence, ask them if it is inoperable. If it's operable, then they have to show me, and then we have no issue, right? It's the inoperability that we have an issue with that just left behind for a long period of time.
I understand if it's a long period of time.
Yeah.
I understand that, and I'm not debating that.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna see junk cars all over. the
Right,
city
I
either.
know you don't, I know,
But-
Steve.
But 10 days is totally unreasonable
Right, and
for
so
a lot of people.
if the council feels that there should be a longer period of time, that's fine. They can debate that and they can decide that. But we put in 10-day standard because all the other communities that have junk and abandoned ordinances are the 10-day standard.
One thing, by the time you get to them, it might have been sitting there for a month or two.
Some of the vehicles that we've had removed have been sitting there for 6,
long.
7, 10 years.
Oh, yes, definitely. Many of them have.
Yeah. But a month.
But not 10 days. That's my issue. is-
No, not 10 days. No, I don't. So there's one on 6th Terrace that brings in, he fixes up trucks and then he sells them. So he's like a flipper. And he has a new truck in there every month, 2, 3. That truck's identified. I take a picture of it. I send it to code enforcement. They call him up and they say, hey, what's your intention? This vehicle has no plates on it, right? So it's sitting in the terrace and has no plates on it. They say, oh, I'm flipping that truck. I only need a month to flip it. And then we let them go. We let them do what they need to do. So it's not that we go out there and hit people hard. We try to work with people and try to figure out what the situation is. If you think 30 days would be more comfortable or whatever amount
I
of
think it'd
days-
be much more fair to the.
Yeah,
for
you
the
can't give
residents
somebody 10
that
days.
That don't have the
absolutely
financial
different.
means to keep up with some of the rest of us.
Steve, you mentioned a few things were taken out. Do you remember the other couple things?
Yeah, so before. It was, you couldn't keep a car on your property. That wasn't being used all the time, and it was changed to, you could keep one. So, and the reason why that was removed was, there's a couple different issues that could be. You could have a father-son project where the father buys a 66 Mustang for his son. And the father and son are gonna restore it. In this instance, that car would be abandoned and subject to enforcement.
And so we do have situations like that. We do have situations like that, I didn't put in my PowerPoint. Because I could see that there's new brake drums on this vehicle and all of that stuff. There are cars that are actually on jack stands in the backyards, but I could see that they're working on those cars. Those cars are not part of our target. Our target is, when you look at the PowerPoint that I sent you, vehicles that have not moved for a long period of time.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with those
Right.
vehicles. What I'm saying is, I don't think we should be targeting or not targeting people. I think everyone should be treated fairly and the same.
I did though, Steve, eliminate the one because everyone in the city can have one junk vehicle in their yard if the ordinance remains the same. If the ordinance remains the same, everyone can basically have one vehicle. My point was, we have so many junk vehicles that we need to make that 0, so that they can't have any junk.
But you can have a vehicle in your driveway that you're not using, that is not junk.
That's correct, and I agree, but as long as it's operable, there's no problem. But those wouldn't be a focus of our target. Our target is vehicles that actually look like they have not moved for a long period of time.
And they have to be registered and licensed.
They do, they have to.
That's the other two qualifications. And Steve, are you talking about last year when we changed that ordinance or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. It was never no cars in the yard. It didn't go from no cars to
I didn't say
to
that.
one car. Oh, I thought that's what you
It
had
said,
said.
initially it was gonna be no cars.
Oh,
like
I
it is
thought you
now.
said it was.
And I argued it, so they allowed one, because there are circumstances. I have a show truck, if my show truck's in my driveway, and I have a cover on it, you don't know whether it's has a tag or not a tag. And quite frankly, it's not your business.
There shouldn't be, covers aren't on it. There's no, we're not allowing.
My
covers.
truck has a $25,000 paint job on it, if it's gonna be outside, it's probably gonna have a cover if it's not in the garage.
And that's probably something that we are going to learn when we go to Steve's house and say, hey, what's underneath the cover? And we learn that, and then of course, it's not part of our focus anymore. It's just not part of our focus anymore. But there are vehicles, quite a few. I have over 30 in my PowerPoint until like
And again, I have no problem with the pictures that you showed there, I have no problem with it.
right, those are the ones. Those are the ones we're looking
I
at.
don't want other people to be called up,
I get it.
okay,
I get it.
understand?
I get it.
And quite frankly, if you ask me what's under the cover of my vehicle, I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
take a hike.
Take a hike, and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
okay.
You know?
would.
That's okay.
Did we?
Okay, so what are we gonna do about the
Vote.
10 days?
We
What's
can
the,
amend it for the public hearing and maybe
Right.
that we're in this.
so it,
You're introducing.
we introduced it. The motion and the second was for 10 days. Does somebody want to modify that, change it?
I would make a motion to change to 30 days, make it more fair.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Questions on that? So we would be voting on a 30-day instead of a 10-day,
Not now.
Not now.
but we need to introduce.
But that change works for the department. We can work within those parameters.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Or we're gonna have to show of hands. All in favor? Opposed, no, that's out. So the ordinance introduced. Number 29. Introduce ordinance number 16 of 2025, repealing and replacing chapter 170, I think that is, -81.5 of the code of the city, note 33, titled Cannabis Licensed Business. And we would advertise notice of introduction on August 20th and public hearing on September 11th. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
So,
Motion's made and seconded. Questions on the motion?
Could you talk a little bit
Yeah, I was
about
gonna
the
say,
changes?
please.
Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, so there are quite a few changes that I made in response to a few questions that members of the administration had, especially pertaining to specific instances now that the city has had a little bit of experience with the cannabis businesses coming into town. So I made a lot of changes, so just bear with me. The definition relatively the same. I did add a definition for a cannabis consumption lounge. Because they are legal now and the CRC proposed rules. Yeah, and I think four, maybe 2 or 3 in Atlantic City have opened. 2 in
Well,
Atlantic City.
I know the Met Base was trying to
But she said,
propose.
yeah.
They were permitted by the state, but they still have to go through the city.
Yeah, so I added a definition for that. I also, since we're on the topic, added a provision in the zoning section that prohibited them within the city. I encourage, the council to discuss of whether that's something the city would want or not. But I thought that to head things off, I would add it in.
So you're adding consumption lounges?
No, I added a provision prohibiting consumption lounges. So if that were to not be the opinion of the council, then please let me know. I added a few general provisions to the code. Just see. Not very interesting, but basically saying that the regulations of the article are subject to any authority of the state of New Jersey in compliance with any of their rules or regulations if they were to change. Cannabis businesses at all times should comply with the terms and conditions of their local license, as well as the license issued by the state of New Jersey and the CRC. And to ensure that all cannabis businesses have those licenses and that they're not allowed to operate. I changed all of so the prior code had that some of the uses in the zones were permitted, not conditional. And it's typical for most municipalities to have all of the uses be conditional, because you don't want one of the uses going in, in one of the zones and then reading the code and being like, oh, this is permitted, we don't need to go through planning board. So it's important that everything be listed as conditional. I did not change anything regarding the number of licenses or the locations of where the particular licenses were going within the zones. I kept that as is. I added, for clarity, since now they are all conditional uses, I added some conditions. They're pretty standard, required by the CRC, such as odor control, noise control, certain security parameters, compliance with all applicable the city code, demonstrate safeguards to mitigate any detrimental impacts. The one thing that I wanted the council to note particularly was that I added, one of the conditions would be that parking, signage, bulk standards, coverage, and design regulations would go with the zoning for that particular zone. So if it was a use permitted in the industrial zone, then they would have to adhere to the conditions in the industrial zone. And I think I looked at least one of those zones. Obviously, they're not going to have cannabis in there. They have like kind of a catch-all, but I think that it's important to make sure that that makes sense with the zones. And that's something like we can change that. We can make them particular to cannabis businesses. So there's a few ways to go about it. This is what I found, that some other municipalities do it this way, but that may not work with the city's code. Especially if, yeah.
Sorry, so you're basically saying if it's a retail, then it has to be particular to the signage has to be as per retail.
Signage,
That's right.
parking, bulk standards, coverage, design, I mean, basically anything that say. A retail store that isn't cannabis, they'd be subject to the same, and that may or may not be appropriate.
And that wasn't in there before.
No, that's a change. I also added for conditions. For clarity, that they must receive the land use board approval, they must receive their license from the CRC. I also added a lot of details for the local license process, because I think the ordinance before was just really vague and there were a lot of questions. I added the fact that the city council would be the issuing authority. I added that the city clerk, and this may also be something that would be up for discussion of whether the city clerk would receive, and maybe you do already know that you receive everything from the CRC already. I don't know if that's Jerry, I don't know if that's you.
It's me.
Yeah, okay, cool. I made a good guess. All right, so, so in terms of the resolution of local support, I had a conversation with Meg and Jerry about what kind of occurs already within the city. And so when an applicant comes to the city looking to open up a cannabis business, they first go to the zoning officer, who will make a determination as to whether their type of use is appropriate within the zone. Then they go to Meg and present her with certain items, such as evidence that they have some sort of site control, like a lease or a letter from their landlord, saying that they're allowed to have a cannabis business, that's. Marketing materials, just so you can make
That's
it,
new, that's
that's
we didn't
new.
have that.
that's new, but I've seen that, like, and
Yeah,
I've been
no.
drafting other resolutions of support, that's pretty typical,
Yeah.
just so you have an understanding of like kind of the flavor of the cannabis business. I did add in a non-refundable fee, for administrative review, and that's, there's a lot that goes into looking at these local licenses. So that's something for the council to decide whether that's appropriate or not. And then once Meg, reviews all those, materials, she would,
And the attorney, that's why we want to pay too, because the attorney reviews it as well.
yeah, and may draft the resolution of support, if
So
needed.
that was why the fee, because we didn't have that.
Which is.
I mean, it kind of varies. It depends on the municipality's practice, but
We
I
put
thought,
five.
yeah.
That's what other towns were charging, so. To cover the legal fees.
Yeah, it really should be, all the standard for the fees for cannabis should be reasonable. And, I can tell you, I'm gonna make a prediction that there's gonna be litigation in the future about some of the fees that municipalities charge, because some of them are absolutely astronomical, and I would say that they are not reasonable, and the CRC charges relatively low fees for their applications. Anyhow, that's my prediction.
But this fee's not high.
No, this is not high, and the city's other fees for the application and their renewal is pretty like mid-range. Kind of standard, I've seen fees for an application up to 10,000, 15,000, the renewal, what'd you say?
25.
The renewal, yeah, and the renewals being like the same, which is, they are high.
So are ours 5,000 and 2,500?
Yeah,
Yeah.
5,000 will be the initial.
yeah, and then the renewal would be the 2,500,
We were 25, but the application is like this to review, which.
it's so much to review, it's so much reading.
Oh, I'm sure
It's
it
hard.
is.
So just going back to the process for the local support, so Meg would issue a recommendation. I'm not sure what circumstance it would be for you to say, I feel like I need the city council to weigh in on that.
What would happen was they would need a resolution of support to go to the state.
Yeah.
To get their license, so at the point when they got the zoning and secure property, we never really made them secure. I don't know if you recall, one night we had like 3 people after one property for the same resolution of support. So this is what we were trying to eliminate. So, I mean, we came down to whoever was first got it, so.
So is this eliminating it?
Yeah, this takes care of that.
But like I said, they're coming to, and you said that they have to have a plan, some kind of.
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah, I mean, you don't wanna waste your time with people that don't have really specific plans already.
So to have a license or apply for a license, they have to have a property attached.
To get,
Well, this is
Yeah.
even before that. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, they do for that, but for this is just a resolution of support, which they'll need to take to the CRC.
Again, it still has to be an address that. they-
right, that's what,
Yeah.
like, they would go to zoning
Needs to be
and with
specific.
an address and. Is it permitted, the license they're going for the state, and then they come to the governing body for a resolution of support.
You
but-
said, good, I'm sorry.
No, but that's what you're saying, that to have some type of like concept plan of what they're, what they're planning for the property and their
What they
intention.
want to do, right?
So what, you said something about the number of, you left it the same. What's in the ordinance now for the number that we would approve?
Oh, okay, so,
To retail?
yeah, I was talking about some, but I can go back, that's fine.
know.
It's the same numbers, I think it's 2 for retail,
Right, which are wrong.
which are gone, I think it's unlimited for
In the industrial park.
yeah, in the industrial park for the cultivator, manufacturer and wholesaler. And I think the same for delivery, but yeah, the retail is the one that is only 2 licenses.
And when was that
Any,
ordinance,
says any.
the original ordinance passed?
There was 3 of them. This
2
is
years
defined
ago.
everything.
Okay, so when was the first one passed?
The first one was in. Have the dates in the top.
Whenever cannabis would,
Yeah, it's 2021, August 12th, 2021 was the first one.
So we're coming up on the 5 years that was said
I know.
to the.
Coming up on
So we
50,
have, that we,
Since-
limited to
We're having people that want to amend their license, add additional license, so you added something in there, like what we did with Trockey. That's having 2 licenses on a property, we had nothing in our ordinance to address that, and,
Which is not permitted. Won't be permitted.
well, I mean, we just didn't have anything like to charge them for another license.
Yeah, so what I changed was the fact that they are permitted to have like multiple licenses if you want to do manufacturing and let's say wholesale, but each one is a separate application and a separate license.
So that means it's a separate fee.
Right, and then amend it, and then we have somebody currently enlarging that, so he has to amend the application on file. We had nothing, and we added something for that as well.
And that's not retail, that's grow.
Mhm.
Correct.
That was, it's all in the industrial park, I think,
Right.
but yeah, that was cultivation. But,
Yeah.
but like,
It's 1401.
they're permitting applications and we're sending them to the attorneys to review, and we have no means of covering our costs, you know,
That's on for the planning board on Tuesday, I believe.
that's something else, this is another one. That didn't need it, and he's- yeah. But we needed it in the ordinance to be able to.
Do you want me to go, before I have questions, do you want me to continue to go through?
Yeah,
Make
that's
sure-
what I'm holding in.
Okay. Yeah, so, for the local license, as I said, dual local licenses are permitted, but they are gonna have to, apply again and require a separate license. And then I have, a designated, actual, like, kind of review committee. So this also could be up for the council to decide who should be on it. I put mayor or mayor designee, the city clerk or city clerk's designee, a member of the, Egg Harbor Police Department, the city administrator and the city solicitor, and this would be the review board. And so if someone had, you know, they got the resolution of support, they're moving through the process, they want a local license now, they're ready, they have like all their materials, the review committee would review all the materials and make a recommendation to the council of whether their local license should be issued. Yeah, I think that's like, I think pretty standard, especially if you anticipate having more, you know, more businesses. I added in some submittal requirements for the application, but that hasn't changed. As we discussed, the application fee was increased to a non-refundable fee of 5,000 and a renewal fee of 2,500. See, that really hasn't changed. I did add in that the application should be considered on a first come, first reviewed basis. So I also put in, after an applicant has conditional approval, they have 18 months, and this may also be up for interpretation, 18 months to get their land use board approval or they need both, or their, you know, approval from the CRC. I'm, 18 months.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's long, that's a clock that you'll be able to hit all the marks and thinking ahead. Yeah.
18 months to get the approval, so how about the open?
So once they have their local license issued, meaning they meet all the conditions, they would have a year, is what we've discussed. But I did want to ask whether that was, the ribbon cutting, like what parameter would it be for them to be considered
Selling, open for business.
open for business? Okay.
Open for business,
Um,
Monday to Friday or whatever their hours are.
That's a year after the 18 months.
Yep. it's a
Yes.
year.
All right, so like technically open for, okay, I may have to, I wanna,
Sell.
yeah.
To start.
okay. I might have to like make that a little more clear.
Need their license.
Is it-
the state.
Hey, Jared,
No, that could be in a condition of approval.
is it possible we can make that a year to get the CRC to approve the open? Because someone may have, because there are certain cannabis dates, if they're close to 420 buds, they're gonna wanna wait to have that soft opening or full opening until that particular date. Is there some way if they want to delay the opening, they can apply to us?
I think,
Not so hard.
I think I put in that the city council would reserve the right to increase that. Would that be appropriate?
Yeah, they'd have to come before the board. Ask for that extra
For an
time,
extension.
a month or two or whatever.
The council or,
Council.
yeah,
Yep.
okay, I will ensure that that language is in there. Okay,
And one more.
yeah,
You have a ban on, consumption lounges. You have to have a retail in order
Yes.
to do a consumption lounge. We're
Yes.
gonna have two.
yes,
The issue is if you have, people in your town who live in subsidized housing, they're not permitted to, cannabis will be legal, but they're not permitted to use it there. They're not permitted to use it in the street. They're not permitted to use it in the parks.
Yep.
So conceivably, you could have people who live, in the park now, right?
Yeah, I wanna
And
touch
they-
base on that because.
And they are.
council,
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And they would like to use it, right?
Mhm.
But there's no place they can. So I don't want it to be like a prohibition for some people. And not others, it's kind of similar to the cars in your,
Yeah.
in your driveway. And since we only have, I believe one, it has to be tied to a retail.
They all are.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
No, I'm talking about the consumption area.
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah,
You said
So-
it has to be.
It has,
It has to.
but the issue is. I don't even know if our retails have the space.
Medley already came.
He wanted to do
He
something.
wanted to
that
go
put-
upstairs, remember?
Yeah, but he doesn't have the room to go upstairs. He was thinking about renting the place across the street, which would make it totally legal because it has to be attached.
Okay, because I remember him coming to us at
Yes.
one time, saying about.
Yes.
So Paul, it's not a today problem.
No, neither one of us.
Just today, but it may be something that the council may want to reconsider going down the line.
Mhm.
But as far as today, it would be prohibited. To have consumption attached to the retail.
Because the way I look at it is. Where you go drinking alcohol at? You sit at a bar.
Yeah.
Where you go to smoke your cigar? There's smart cigar lounges.
He goes to down
The
like.
new way of life is cannabis. It's been that way, but now it's just finally, but, go to California, just got back from Puerto Rico. Vegas, it's the new way of life. All cannabis shops, have a smoking area attached to it. It's just the way it is, no different than going to go buy a nice cigar and going in the cigar lounge. I mean, I'll be totally against this ordinance if we gotta keep that, so.
Can you bring food in? They can't
Yeah,
have
you
some
can-
food or anything, but you can bring food in.
It's no different than like going to.
Right, you could.
So
You can bring food in there, it's no different than going to like a winery where you go bring your own little snacks and stuff like that and
You
sit
can only
outside and
bring-
drink the wine.
But they
It's
can
an
provide it.
organized
They-
rest,
They can,
of the,
even though
city.
cannot be promoted.
Mhm.
But I just
Well,
want
that
to
might
know
be Jersey
prohibition.
order stuff down there.
okay.
Do that.
You could change
Yeah.
language
It used to be that.
in that part.
When it first
They
came.
actually charge you to get into the room.
Yes, do you want it to be?
So our option is 2 locations could have on-premise consumption, right?
Unless someone were to do retail in our industrial park.
Yeah.
You
But
can't.
that would be, you would have to do experience for that.
Yeah.
So
It's agriculture. They're not retail then.
It's only two retails.
if there was, if someone were in an industrial park,
Okay.
I'm just saying.
But we don't have any.
No,
retail
That
approval.
would be a land use issue to be.
Exactly.
They'd have to get experience for that.
Yeah.
They're only, the retail's only in the highway and the art retail's. the retail center.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
So we can say it's
Statute.
Oh.
We could stop it. Industrial park.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can add,
Oh, it's,
You-
it's Mr. Permanent Vacation, almost permanent vacation.
Oh, right.
Ryan McAllen, yeah.
yeah, coming to you from a hotel room in Hilton Head. So there are only 2 retail licenses and they are for the HC zone and the RC zone. So even if the land use board gave them land use approval, use variance, it wouldn't matter because there's no license for them to get from the city.
Correct.
Yeah, unless
Open
the-
retail.
The city were to revoke one of those other retails.
Right, so it's fully within the city's control.
Yeah.
or adjust the number.
So it's a council discussion for the 2 locations that we currently have, whether consumption.
Hey,
Makes it.
listening to what Mason said though, as this business evolves, the industry. And that becomes the norm
Mhm.
in the future. Maybe that's something that we would want to change down the road, but
Yeah.
right now I would agree
And-
to keep it.
And the 2
As a prohibition.
facilities that have retail licenses don't have space.
No, they don't have the space.
So it really doesn't
But
need
they-
to be in there at this
But
point.
that may incentivize them to move to another
Different
place,
location.
right? A larger place, a different
Mhm.
place.
Right.
Well, how would that work if they did want to move?
Cause he's,
Just take their license, just like a liquor license to another
They
location?
have to reapply.
Yeah, I mean,
so-
everything would be different, so they're,
They probably have to reapply to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the guys are doing now with the facility in the industrial park, right? They have to reapply for the expansion.
well, MetLife did say probably about a year ago, they do have an upstairs up there, like a loft. That they could do it if they had to, you know what I mean? But then he really wanted to do something across the street, basically buy a whole nother business and basically had that as a lounge, but that's not allowed. Because with these lounges, these people make money off the lounges. It's like the one in Vegas, it's $50. You know, you get your cannabis, they give you a beer. You bring your snacks, and then for $50, you sit in there and you get to enjoy it, and you know, whatever the time, it's basically like buying a booth at the, you know, like a club or whatever. Like
It increases sales as well.
Correct.
I didn't think you could have alcohol with cannabis.
Well, not in this state.
Not true.
Not, yeah.
We could amend it at that time if something
Right.
changes.
I think business should approach you if they want something like that, not
Mhm.
necessarily, put it in now. But if the business wants it, then they need to come to see you, and then it would be the council's decision to reconsider it. I'm not sure if we're gonna put something in that businesses don't wanna do or may not be ready to do at this time.
it's also really new. I mean, it's
Mhm.
a very new concept, so there's time.
Could someone tell me, what is going on with the, cannabis property on the White Horse Pike? Oh, no.
Not for this ordinance.
Yeah,
Oh, it isn't for the ordinance.
and I did have a discussion with them. I
Okay.
did tell Jerry, so I can tell you after.
So could they put an addition on their property if they wanted to have the like, because that guy has a lot of property.
Yeah, about the one on the White Horse Pike.
I think
That
that
word-
West.
Wells Fargo, but the one on White Horse Pike, that's rented, so I'm not sure they'd be allowed to
Right.
do that. Unless.
But
it
like
had the-
they had that whole side, if he wanted to add to that Wells Fargo to the, you know, on the side there too, his you know what I mean? Like that would be,
Yeah, it's
he can do
huge.
that.
He owns where the ATM is.
Yeah. it had to be
Yeah,
continuous.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Same structure.
Yeah, it has to be in the same building, I believe.
Yeah,
Same
you have to be able to
structure.
enter it from
From
your
the store.
retail.
Cause it still has to be under security or whatever that,
You go.
he's got that whole side of the, isn't that,
Getting
whole-
the business owners
no, he does.
supposed to come to you
Nah.
with a plan.
You're thinking of the parking lot behind that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Instead of just running off with it, I'm permitted to do it, so I'm gonna do it.
What's the
By
square?
prohibiting it now, you're forcing the two businesses to come to you and present something, which gives you a lot more
Comfortable.
consideration and control over
Right.
things.
Any other questions on the motion?
I do have some other changes. I mean, my other thought about that is that if we prohibited. And a developer decides to apply for a use variance for it. Then it kind of forces the city's hand a little bit as opposed to approaching them ahead of time. You know, I guess, there are pros and cons of both approaches. And maybe it's a non-issue right now.
I think you would want, as a city council, I think you would want to have every opportunity to be able to consider this as opposed to just allowing somebody to do it. So this would help that.
They'd have to come here.
Yeah, that's the come, yeah, it has to.
Okay, yeah, and so just to wrap it up, some of the other changes I made are less kind of substantive, more just kind of dotting some Ts about if there's a transfer of the dotting some Is. About a transfer of a local cannabis license, I mentioned before that there would be an application fee if they were to transfer the license, but it would stay in the same building. Let's say they wanted to sell their business. And then also I put in an indemnification and a liability clause, kind of just more so insulating the city about any changes in federal law and things of that nature. And then I also, the tax is, I did not touch the tax is exactly the same, and also the collection of tax. And just lastly. I consolidated a section about prohibiting. Smoking in like public areas, the lake area, recreation area. Prohibition in public places. And. I consolidated that, I added in some suspension or revocation clauses. If an applicant were to misrepresent their materials or just kind of more pointed ways that if we needed to revoke their license, we could. And then some fees, violations of penalty section, which is up for debate. So that's really it for my changes.
So I have a question, like,
Yeah.
let's just say, I think I heard you say that if they wanted to sell their license, it would stop. Now, for example, the one on the White Horse Pike is a rental, as I mentioned. If everything falls through, because they're in a legal issue right now, and they cannot open. And they do want to sell their license. Wouldn't that be a different situation because it's a landlord?
There's a city.
It's a city license, but
Yeah.
you said it has to be in the same building. So if you're renting, let's just say they kick you out. Your lease is up, they don't want to take you anymore, then what happens?
So a few things that they presented to the land use board and also for their application would be void, right? So they don't have control of the space anymore. Their land use board approval was specific to that space.
Mhm.
So they would have to go through the process again if they were to get a new space.
So then if they sold it to someone else, they don't want to be in the business anymore, that person who buys it would have to go to the land use board, is that what you're saying?
No, yeah, let me go to my transfer section again.
Was this a city license? I don't think you can sell this. They'd have to apply for state, right? They would have to go to the state. A new person.
So there's
Oh,
no
okay.
value to the.
There's no
license.
value.
Right, the city it's their, it's.
So then you would have another retail available for
Yeah,
someone.
that would
Put
be
it
the
out
only
there, I'm
caveat.
guessing.
I think that's why you're putting in the time, because they would lose it after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, so if they're, so the transfer section says that they cannot transfer ownership or control of the license. Unless they obtain an amendment to the license, and that would be treated as an entirely new application. I guess it would be a little bit.
An application to the city, so it's still.
So they really don't have anything to sell to somebody.
Yeah, it's not like a transferable right per se, like that.
I believe their state license can't be transferred for
Yeah.
2 years. So if they came in, told us within the first 2 years.
They can't do it in the CRC rules anyway.
And
I did have a transfer application fee of 1,000. But as we discussed, the new application would be 5,000, so I can just remove that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
okay. Any other questions?
Could you just tell me what you just said with that? If someone, for instance, this property that we're talking about doesn't open and it's owned by someone else. They can leave that property and now the license, there'll be a second retail. Please explain that one more time. to me.
Yeah, so if they were to, let's say in the situation that they would be not able to operate at that space and they decided that they wanted to move to a new space,
Right,
it would be a new application.
whole new
Because-
application.
Yeah.
They would lose the 5,000, the original.
Yeah,
right?
the fees are
Yeah.
non-refundable.
Okay.
Yeah, because all their approvals would be based on that specific location. So it would not make sense. And then if. Yeah, so does that? And
Yes,
then,
that
okay.
answers that.
I have a question. So in a situation like this, would the original applicant be given first option to have a second shot at that second retail license, or would it be open season again?
Right, that's what I was wondering too,
That answers that.
because we gave a lot of resolutions out.
Yeah. So I.
It should be first come, first serve, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the application
Well,
process
this one,
is first
put in
come,
our
first,
application.
first come, first review.
Yeah,
So I mean, if that would be in a situation where they would be putting in an application and let's say, you know, so maybe someone else beat them to it.
But our resolution, you said we had a lot of them, but they were for a lot of properties that. were
Yeah, it didn't come to
dilapidated, like with,
fruition, yeah.
I mean, although the one lot, yeah. Like, I remember the old Cumberland Farms, I'm.
Yeah,
we did-
Cedar
like,
Market.
we're doing this now, so they have to have an actual plan of what they're gonna fix, like, we
Gotcha.
never made anybody have anything like that in the past.
Right.
And I think like most, I don't know what those specific resolutions of support said, but for the most part, they usually say that there's no guarantee.
Yeah,
that
it was
license.
support, it was not
It's just-
approval,
That was so they could go to the state,
right?
make the application.
I mean, if we could do it all over again and report things differently, you wouldn't have had 3 people on the same night for the same property.
So there's the value. The value is to, you have a license, try to keep the license at all costs. That's where the value of the license is, right? Because if you give it up, it's it's in the ether, right?
And I-
Somebody
yeah.
else's, right?
I just got a question. You said on that ordinance that you're not allowed to smoke in public in this ordinance? I can understand. why.
It's on in public spaces.
It was one,
You're allowed.
done an ordinance for the. day.
We're smoke, all our parks and playgrounds are smoke free.
Right,
We have an ordinance.
That's what-
Yeah, no, that's what I understand. Because it's no different than smoking a cigarette or
But
anything
that,
else.
she put that.
But you
in
can't
Um,
drink on Philadelphia Avenue.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I know.
So what's the,
What's the difference
what's the
between smoking a
comparison?
cigarette and smoking a joint?
Because it's a controlled.
I think you can, but you can't in public property.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
So you can walk down the main street,
Yes.
you know?
No, I don't believe you can.
That's not,
Street.
that's
That's not in this ordinance.
That's something else,
Yeah,
but
that would be the police.
chief, you can't walk around with a beer,
But I think we should-
can you?
No, we're a big
There's.
open container law.
But there's no law saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
You can't have a.
Any other state, you can walk around and smoke just like you're smoking a cigarette, but any place that's no smoking is considered the same. But basically.
Right,
public
yeah.
parks
You're
and all that stuff.
getting high, that's what I'm trying to say, so
Yes, but there's no. Marijuana is
Right.
legal and
Correct.
there's no, and alcohol.
So
is-
is alcohol.
Yeah, but alcohol
Yeah.
is legal, but there's open container law.
There's-
There's
yeah.
no.
There's no smoking
there's
in
no
public.
Joint law.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There could be children around you and they could be breathing that in. With alcohol, it's in a container. You know, so you're not that.
Like you could smoke
Yeah,
a cigarette. or-
exactly.
There's no open
Yeah.
marijuana laws, like, so I can't say
Right.
you need to put that out because
Yeah.
and I can say if you need to dump your alcohol if you're walking down the street because there's open container laws. I can cite a statute saying this is the statute where you can't do this. There's nothing that
Yep.
says you cannot smoke a joint.
Really?
Are they allowed to smoke cigarettes at
And
the
then
lake?
6%. No, it's not illegal.
There's.
I'm saying cigarettes, not joint.
Yeah, so basically anywhere you're like public parks, the lakes, playground.
Have you ever given tickets to somebody for smoking a cigarette?
Well, there is
In the park.
designated smoking area.
There is a designated smoking area.
That's parks and playgrounds,
Right.
that's city ordinance.
Right.
That's not.
That's what she
just
said she
walking down
added
the
to
street.
this, right?
Mm.
Have you ever issued tickets for
Only
that?
for the city
Yeah.
park, the same things that was already.
I mean, in the park.
Yes.
Okay,
Basically, anywhere you're allowed to smoke a cigarette, you're allowed animals, you're smoking.
no,
animals.
for cigarettes.
Oh, cigarettes.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
non-smoking.
Right.
But that's so anymore.
Cause you could leave.
That's all she has.
Okay,
Started for smoking.
all right, so Elena gave us a lot of different things that she added and subtracted. So is there any other questions on those
Those
topics?
changes she's making, can we introduce?
Yes.
Yes,
We did a Hesse Galloway to introduce, this was conversation.
yes.
Yeah, and the changes that I'm making are like not,
Okay, never mind.
actually substantive.
And we'll get copies well ahead of time before the public hearing.
And,
So,
and is it the same application? We're gonna have the same application because it's on there different from now, from the last.
There has to be a few changes, but that's not part of the ordinance.
That's not part of the ordinance. I mean, I can look through the application more.
And the amendment.
These will have to be updated, some of the other things.
It's pretty standard to other municipalities that I've seen.
What's important about this revision is the timeframes, allowing people to. So that they can't take forever, helping out.
any other questions? Okay, we have the ordinance. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor? Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, one opposed. Ordinance is introduced.
Because you can't have an ordinance, but it's not illegal. You can't tell somebody against the public that it's not a crime.
She's not. She said it's only parks and playgrounds. It's cigarette, it's or if you wanna, if you. No, it's what was in the other one. It's the same as it was in the other one. You just put the parks and playgrounds, right?
That was already in the ordinance.
And you just heard the chief say you can walk down Philadelphia Avenue and smoke, so I don't know what you're. why
And I
you're
still,
testing it.
in the lounge thing, I just don't feel like that's fair that they should have to wait, that if they want. That's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion.
You are, but I'm just saying that it's,
Huh?
you can walk down Philadelphia Avenue and smoke a joint if you want.
I really don't care if they do or not.
I don't know what your other,
Number 30 is introduce ordinance number 17-2025, opting into the Garden State CPACE program to facilitate and finance CPACE projects. That we had a meeting with,
EDA.
ACEDA,
Make a motion.
and yes, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Are there questions on this?
Yes, can someone please explain this?
CPACE projects are privately funded energy efficiency or other improvement projects for businesses to obtain private funding. The portion that we would be required to opt in is that the payment of these funding mechanisms, like if someone wanted to do solar panels in that sense, would be collected by a tax collector.
Okay.
So that's really what it is. We don't do anything.
So we're just the avenue of the payment to
Yeah,
go through
the
us
avenue for
to
the
them.
payment. And for us, the benefit for us is that we, that the business owner, the property owner improves their property and then their assessment goes up and then we increase taxes because their assessment has gone up.
So it's not taxpayer funded.
Nope, not taxpayer funded, just they ask us to help out with the collection because of the way the program is set up.
Right, okay, thank you.
And that was a business in town, that's applying.
Is it only for commercial?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That, I mean, as opposed to residential, Kim?
Yes.
No, it's only commercial.
Only commercial.
Commercial industrial, yeah.
Okay.
And this, there is one business I understand in town that's applying for $3.5 million through this program to do improvements to a commercial property, so that would be a nice rateable
It would.
increase and a better building, so.
Okay, all in favor of introducing the ordinance? Opposed? Motion passes. Ordinance introduced. Number 31. Introduce ordinance number 18-2025, adopting a redevelopment plan for block 101, lot 11, which is the landfill area on Antwerp Avenue. And we would advertise the notice in the Hamilton Gazette, public hearing on September 11th.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
One opposition, motion passes.
Who was this? That's
That was
Ingrid.
Yeah. they-
Said aye.
She said aye, okay, I thought she said, because I said opposed and she said.
Yeah.
I think it's a delay.
do you want to
It may be delayed.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, number 32 is public hearing on the bond ordinance number 12-2025 for the iBank stormwater improvements. So, is there a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, now we have a public hearing on bond ordinance number 12. Anyone wish to be heard on this ordinance? First call. Second call. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, is there a motion to adopt this bond ordinance?
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made,
I have a question.
okay,
I know we brought this up the last time, but I want to know what happens, if we don't get the principal forgiveness? Ryan's on there now? Because I'm
Yeah,
sure-
I am. So you lock in the principal forgiveness at the beginning of the project. And essentially, if we don't get the principal forgiveness, we don't spend any of this money. We don't continue to move forward. But every indication that we've gotten from iBank is that they have the money there. It's essentially guaranteed. We just need to go through the steps.
In the meantime, the 68,000, will we be using that? Or no? There'll be nothing. That's
Which
not
68,000?
forgivable? The non-reimbursement for this, like, are you going to be, what is it, doing the surveys and all that sort of thing? Is anything going to start prior?
Yeah, we did work because originally we were trying to get the FY25 money because you guys would have been eligible for 3 million last year and then 3 million this year. So we were trying to get into last year's pool of money, but essentially they had too many projects ahead of us, and they kind of told us like, we don't have time to review your stuff, so you're gonna have to wait till next year. So as far as we're concerned, we feel like we're at the front of the line going into FY26 to get the $3 million in principal forgiveness. So we did move forward and advance the design and all of that. But there are other programs that the design would also qualify under if for whatever reason we did not get this. There's technical assistance grants and other grants that sort of cover the soft costs portions potentially. So we'll actually be going after those as well to try to supplement these funds, but we're just not there yet. We just have to get this locked down first.
We won't move forward unless we get this, correct? Okay,
Correct.
Thank
That's the
you.
plan.
thank
Yep.
you.
Any other questions? Sir, we already had the motion to adopt, so roll call, please.
Dash,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Dovey,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes,
Keener,
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
and that will also be noticed in the Hamilton Gazette on August 20. Number 33 is bill list.
Make a motion.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions on the bills? Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Hesse,
yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, number 34, mayor comments.
No, thank you.
Councilman Wright.
We have a couple things, football and cheer are in full swing. Just reminder everybody, the Beef and Beer fundraiser is August 30th at Crossroads from 6 to 9. Tickets are still on sale at the concession stand. First home game will be September 6th.
Are the tickets available at the doors, Mason?
Yeah, you can get them there. Yep. That's pretty much it for them.
Right, Councilman Galloway, Councilwoman. Yeah.
Just for the kids back to school, I guess we don't have a meeting before school starts, right? Right, we don't have a meeting, so be safe out there and be careful driving, kids are gonna be back on the street again, so they're out there now running around on their bikes and stuff, but probably be safer in school. That's it, I don't have anything else.
I think it's safe for now. The parents ain't rushing them to get them to school.
All I
And doing-
have to say is just be on the lookout for, in your mail, for the recycling and trash cart flyers. Jerry, when were they sent out already?
No, they'll be going out next week.
Okay, they'll be going out next week, so.
Towards the
keep it
end
up.
of next week, they'll be going out.
Okay, and it'll be some facts and
Yep.
let it from there. So-
And carts should be right around between September 15th and October 1st.
Okay, great,
That's the delivery window.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Timber.
Jerry,
Sure. Sorry.
is every person in Egg Harbor City getting a trash can?
Every property.
So I'm gonna have 15 trash cans around my,
How many properties?
well, it's my house. And I have another house right here,
Oh,
and another right, and we all use that same area for the trash.
Yes, you're gonna have that, yeah. You're gonna have a lot, yeah.
They will be in
Every other week.
Just let you know.
Yeah, every other week, you're right.
For recycling.
Because the recycling won't have to be out every week.
Right.
But yeah,
No, don't be in the alley.
And some people don't put their trash out.
I didn't put it out.
No, I don't keep my trash in my house, so I don't carry it out to the.
They keep it in
trash
the
can.
can.
I do, in the alley.
Yeah, I know, but some people don't have a lot of trash, so they don't.
Ah, yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, your alley will be lined up like soldiers.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Ours is like
But
that.
there won't be trash all over.
Okay, Councilman Timbers.
I just wanted to say there's a lot of parents that are getting ready to drive their kids back to college, and some of the students are driving their own cars, maybe for the first time. And I just wanted to wish them all good luck the coming year, and also tell them to drive safe. And then number 2, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to highlight you. How long have you been here, Jerry?
3 months, about 100 days so far.
Jerry, in that time, you have been noticed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Doty.
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Dash.
Just a couple quick shout outs. The Archway Green dedication was awesome. The food truck festival was a blast. The band 40 North was incredible. I think this was the most fun food truck festival I've been to. I just like to thank everyone in the EDC, the NPP. They did a great job. Another thing is I came down St. Louis Avenue the other day and I saw police cars and a fire truck and school buses, and I was like, what the heck is this? And I was so happy to see that it was the Welcome to the Freshman.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I thought, what a great little town we live in, that we do that kind of stuff, so great job, everybody.
They do echo, or is it just mobile?
On St. Louis Avenue, the girl at the end.
You
know where,
Your comment today. and I
St. Louis Inn is,
Mhm.
if you go towards Gene Montecalvo's, it's the one.
Councilwoman Tyson.
Just everybody going back to school, be safe. I want to say the Archway Green looks great. The ceremony on Friday night was awesome. I was wondering, the back parking lot, are we doing something with that, with the dirt?
That, well, Jerry, you want to handle that?
The future, closer towards the end or middle fall, we'll be putting clamshells.
Okay, because it looks beautiful and you walk all the way to the end and then,
So tomorrow we'll finish installing the parking buffer and, when there's no, issue with people being outside smelling clamshells for a couple of weeks, we'll be putting down.
I wasn't sure if it was a finance issue because
It always is.
there's a finance issue,
They're
but.
okay with clamshells.
They're okay
They
with
kind of look nice.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure that, you know, it doesn't stink up the neighborhood.
That's awesome.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And all the teachers going back to school, especially my teacher going back to school, be safe.
God bless.
So,
Councilwoman Clark.
Just a couple quick things especially for 2 of our sports programs. In addition to what Councilman Wright said with the Crusaders, we are still looking for donations for baskets. So if anyone in Carver City would like to donate a basket, you can feel free to drop it off at the concession stand. Anytime between 6 and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, there should always be someone there at the concession stand, or reach out to any of the board members for the Crusaders. Also, we have a couple of other fundraisers going on. One is with surveys, another one has to do with actual donations. So I'll be sure to post that on the Carver City Municipal page for links for that for anyone who'd like to donate to the Crusaders. Also, shout out to the Cedar Creek football team. The football program. This was my first year being able to participate in their overnight camp, and the way that Coach Melody and all of the other coaches, and even the Booster Club, the way that they instill the ideology of family, it's something very awe-inspiring, and I'm very happy to know that a lot of our Crusaders are going to continue on to be Pirates. And, you know, it's not only a sense of pride of being a Crusaders mom, also as a Pirate mom, but also as an Egg Harbor City resident, to kind of see that just that family mentality with them. This year, their theme is Leave No Doubt. And, you know, I have no doubt that they're going to do well this year and, you know, bring home a championship so we can have that parade down Philadelphia Avenue. And also, good luck to all the kids, all the babies starting school this year. Good luck to all the teachers. That's all.
Okay, well, thank you, and I don't really have any other comments that haven't already been made. Just to say that our next meeting is September.
Chief.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, when you're done.
All right, September 11th is our next meeting. And go ahead.
So I have to say I was wrong. I can't give you the exact statute because finding stuff on a cell phone, but 2C35, something. I'll get you the actual statute. Take delivery or consuming a lawfully possessed cannabis item, provided that nothing in this section shall permit a person to smoke, vape, or aerosolize any cannabis item in a public place. This prohibition includes the smoking, vaping, or aerosolizing of a cannabis item in any public place pursuant to law that prohibits the smoking of tobacco, including NJS 2C33-13, the New Jersey Smoke-Free Air Act, and any indoor public place that determines that as that term is defined in section 3 of PL 2005 C3, some legal from other. So apparently, no, you cannot just walk out.
Good, thank you for clarifying.
I referenced the Smoke Free Act, especially just to ensure that any place where that applies, you can't smoke.
Okay, anything else? Number 36 is, I'm sorry, 35 public comments. Anyone wish to be heard in the public?
Tracy.
No?
Tracy's online.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, Tracy Mulhern, 314 Ergo. Just one question about the New Jersey American Water pipe replacement, or I guess they're replacing the pipes under the streets. I was wondering, I'm thinking the original pipes are cast iron, and I'm wondering, what are they replacing them with?
All water mains are being replaced with ductile iron. A lot of the original pipe was cast iron. Some of it is asbestos concrete pipe, ACP. But yeah, for the most part, it's cast iron being replaced with ductile iron, and it's cement lined ductile iron.
And would you call it duct something?
Ductile iron.
Ductile iron. Okay, cool. Thank
Yes.
you very much. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? So a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Marcella, you got it.
Well, I need the correction. I'll send you.
Like,